Here are 12 online reviews of the audiobook titled, Untamed. Written and narrated by Glennon Doyle. 1. Insufferable. This book was so insufferable I could hardly stand listening to it. But I was intrigued to find out what all the attention was about. It's so self-promoting, self-indulgent, and whiny. All of the problems in the writer's life are simply because of society, and nothing to do with the writer herself. Doyle seems to suppose herself to be the most profound, original thinker. But so much of the book feels like a teenager yelling about the injustices of the world and the inability to be free from it all. But she prides herself on the freedom she found in her self-indulgence. Maybe I'm being too harsh, and not maybe I don't understand all of Doyle's credentials that allow her to speak in such absolutes. But overall, I did not enjoy the book. 2. Shallow growth. This book was engaging and I did enjoy the performance, however the content just kept getting worse and shifted towards dangerous. Glennon appears to be hyper-focused on proving that a third memoir is well-earned, but ultimately what she teaches is shallow growth and immediacy of self-satisfaction. The immense focus on self-knowledge above all else, including foregoing centuries of history and thoughtful interpretation, dialogue, and debate, yields a theology that is sorely lacking and flimsy. She had developed as a person, and the love she shared in her family is lovely to read about. However, since she received, and self-perceived, as a sort of spiritual teacher, I think it is important to express the ways in which her teaching is left wanting. 3. Mindless. I felt like I was listening to Christian Chenoweth narrate this book, very distracting. I know it's an autobiography, but this book is endlessly self-absorbed. It comes off as a story for privileged white women who have never faced true adversity and have no idea what the world's problems are really like. This book is incredibly out of touch. Would not recommend. 4. Don't waste your time. If you're an extreme feminist that loves blaming other people and society for your problems, this book is for you. If not, save your time and money and don't listen to this. I got this book because so many people I know were reading it. I tried to listen to the whole thing, almost finished it too, but it was so awful I stopped. It's just hours of complaining and whining. Not enlightening, nor motivating. Storyline wasn't good either. It was almost hard to follow because she'd jump around so much. I ended up returning it because of how awful it was. Super disappointed. 5. How disappointing. From the many raves and celebrity endorsements, I was excited to read this book. I couldn't even finish it, seriously nauseating. The title evokes a yearning we, especially women, have in a world of expectations and pre-assigned roles, a hope to stoke the fire within, unbridled and untamed. The author clearly has an agenda. Not personal growth but pro-LGBTQ, pro-abortion, pro-unlawful immigration, anti-Christ in his full, only convenient, cooperative aspects. This book is self-indulgent and not relatable to me at all, nor to the many beautiful and fiery women I know. 6. If I could return this, I would. I saw the author talk about this book on an episode of Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen. She was so adorable and fun on the show, I immediately went and purchased this audiobook. I barely made it through the first half. This is, by far, one of the most self-indulgent, preachy, pointless titles I've ever tried to read, listen to. Maybe, if you're going through the very specific and exact trials the author went through, you could find some meaning and inspiration. But if you aren't, I can't imagine you'll like this book. I have 3 other girlfriends who I ended up discussing this book with. Neither of us knew the other one had attempted it. We all felt the same way, we couldn't even finish it, as it was such a steaming pile of word vomit. Do yourself a favor and keep scrolling for a different title. 7. Glennon, you rock. As a woman in her early 50s, married to a woman since 2003, together since 1996 and having 2 daughters, 9 and 13, I can relate somewhat to your journey. My spouse and I have taken a different path to being true to who we are. It also has been a journey. I appreciate you and your voice, it is long overdue for the world to hear, thank you. 8. Excellent writing and presentation. Excellent writing and presentation of profound explorations, findings, and questions. Glennon Doyle presents a wide-ranging expose that provides great insight to this male reader on the lives of women he knows who are untamed, considering embarking on a process of being untamed, and who are not yet to that point. It gives me thought in raising boys and girls in a compassionate, equal, and mutually affirming world we hope to build. As a white male I receive many privileges that all people should have, but as an individual with invisible disabilities I have suffered under great discrimination. This book gives me insight into conducting my own life in a way that is true to me. I am grateful to Glennon Doyle and those who influence her. 9. Like an incredible friend. Reading this book changed me. Listening to it felt like a talk with an incredible friend. I laughed, nodded in agreement, and even teared up. Glennon, if you read these, I thank you for your voice. I think it waved at my voice and their friends now. You're a true inspiration and the world is better for having you in it. 10. I adore this book. Every woman should read this. On a friend's recommendation I started reading this book. I wished I had started reading this book the day it was published. Glennon Doyle is so insightful in so many fronts it blows your mind. After you finish listening this book you feel empowered, understood, mothered, hugged, listened to, turned inside out, educated, and enlightened. There is growth in each page. There are secrets that all of us should have been handed down by our mothers, our sisters, and other women in this book. There are chains of tradition broken that should have been broken a long time ago so we can come into our power. This is a superb book. Read it once and keep it close. Because you should refer to it often because it will have many treasures to help you navigate life and yourself for years to come. It will help you get to know you better, sooner, quicker, and give you permission to thrive. 11. I want more. My best friend made me listen this book. She was relentless, kept on me, constantly nagging me. I absolutely love her for it. I listened to this book twice. The first time I listened to this book I wiped away tears, I laughed and I admit I was sad. Why? 'Cause it really hit home for me. No, I don't like other women, but I just divorced after a 20-year marriage where I was cheated on like it was his job. Grow up thinking my life had to be a certain way and I had to make it fit. The second time I listened to this book I took notes. I don't have the words to tell you how much listening to this book has helped me have no shame for being a goddamn cheetah. 12. This book was the vitamin I did not know I was missing. This book is amazing. As a 30-something-year-old, sober, recovering compulsive overeater, this book touched me in more ways than one, speaking on how to be happy in a world where we are taught to overachieve and minimize feelings. I loved that it was read by Glennon. I loved listening to it so much that I bought the hard copy to read along with. Every girl should read this. Thank you for watching. Please, do not forget to subscribe, like and share this video. Tune in for more online audiobooks reviews.